Story 1. Whispers from the Midway. Lights. Have you ever chased a thrill so hard that it circles back and bites you, leaving teeth marks that scar deeper than any drop on a wooden coaster? It was the summer of 2012, a sticky heatwave blanketing the backwoods of northern Michigan, where the Huron National Forest meets the endless blue of Lake Huron's shoreline. I'd just turned 16, all gangly limbs and misplaced bravado, crammed into the back of my dad's Ford Explorer with a duffel bag stuffed with comic books and a secret stash of contraband candy bars. Reese's, the kind that melted into guilty pockets. We were barreling down M65 toward Tawas Point State Park, the radio crackling with Lynyrd Skynyrd's Sweet Home Alabama, as if Dad needed a soundtrack to his annual ritual of toughening up the boy. What I didn't know then, as the pines whipped by like judgmental sentinels, was that this trip would etch a shadow into my summers forever. One that lurked not in the woods, but under the garish glow of carnival lights, where the screams of riders masked something far more primal. My name's Tyler Voss, and growing up in Alpena, that blue-collar speck on Michigan's Sunrise side, where the paper mill's whistle still calls shifts and Friday nights mean bonfires on the beach with cases of Labatt Blue for the dads, camping wasn't a choice. It was conscription. Dad, a lineman for Consumers Energy, with hands like weathered oak and a mustache that could have doubled as a Brillo pad, worshipped the outdoors like it was his personal church. Every July, since I could walk, he'd load the truck with a Coleman stove, a canvas tent that smelled like mothballs and regret, and enough Spam to feed a platoon. Builds character tie. He'd grunt, slapping my back hard enough to rattle my braces. A man ain't made in air-conditioned basements playing Xbox. Mum, bless her, would wave from the porch with a cooler of Jell-O salads and a whispered, "Be safe, boys." Her eyes pleading for me not to turn into that kid who runs from bears. By sophomore year at Alpena High, I'd had it up to my freckled neck with the bugs that dive-bombed your ears like kamikazes, the ground that poked your sleeping bag like it held a grudge, and the ritualistic discomfort of peeing in the woods while pretending you were Daniel Boone. I'd suffered in stoic silence for years, nights shivering under a tarp during pop-up storms, days hacking at kindling with a hatchet that always slipped. But that summer, desperation birthed rebellion. "Dad," I pleaded over meatloaf one Tuesday, "let me bring a buddy this year. Make it tolerable." He eyed me over his bifocals. Fork paused mid-skewer of canned corn. To my shock, he nodded. "Fine, but no whiners." And he pulls his weight. Enter Riley Hayes, my ride or die from ChemLab. The kid with the perpetual 5 o'clock shadow, a Boy Scout Eagle badge pinned ironically to his Letterman jacket, and a grin that said he could MacGyver a Swiss Army knife out of duct tape and dreams. Riley loved the wild. He'd spent summers at Camp Chippewa, earning merit badges in everything from orienteering to taxidermy. And his stories of midnight hikes and s'mores roasted marshmallows made my skin crawl in equal parts envy and nope. But he was solid. No judgment on my city boy frailties. Just easy jabs like, "Voss, you scream louder than a banshee at a porta-potty spider." When I floated the invite, his eyes lit up like Lake Huron at dawn. "Dude, Tawas? Epic. I'll pack the topo maps." "Your old man's gonna love me." The drive up was a testosterone-fueled haze. Dad and his buddy Uncle Ray, not blood but close enough after 20 years of deer stands, up front, swapping tales of '89's legendary ice storm that blacked out half the thumb. Riley and I in back, him quizzing me on constellations while I snuck glances at my Nokia, texting crushes about roughing it like it was a badge of honor. Tawas Point was Dad's holy grail. Miles of sandy beach hooking into Saginaw Bay, dunes whispering secrets to the wind, and campsites tucked under cedars where the loons' cries sounded like lost souls. We rolled in around 4, the Explorer's tires crunching gravel as Dad paid the ranger station fee with a wad of ones. Site 27, boys. Let's make tracks. That's when the universe flipped us the bird. Dad handed over the reservation printout, his meticulous habit highlighted and tabbed like a tax form. Only for the ranger, a sunburned vet with a ponytail and a "Don't Feed the Bears" tattoo peeking from his collar, to squint and chuckle. Folks, this says Oscoda Beach Park. You're at Tawas, all right, but we ain't got no Site 27. Overbooked by some computer glitch at HQ. Sent you all to the wrong park. Dad's face went the color of Lake Huron after a storm, purple and churning. Uncle Ray muttered something about damn state efficiency, while Riley and I exchanged glances. Half relief, no manual tent pitching in 90-degree heat. Half dread, Dad's wrath was a force of nature. Turned out Oscoda Beach was a 20-minute detour east, a family-friendly sprawl on the Orsable River's mouth that blurred the line between wilderness and suburbia. Paved paths snaked between RV hookups glowing with satellite dishes. Picnic tables hosted kiddie birthday bashes with Spider-Man piñatas. And, get this, a full-blown carnival midway abutted the eastern edge. Not your Six Flags behemoth, but a seasonal outfit, the Great Lakes Fun Zone, with a creaky Ferris wheel strung with bulbs like drunken fireflies, a tilt-a-whirl that whined like a colicky infant, and bumper cars crackling with ozone-scented sparks. Dad took one look, the air thick with cotton candy and funnel cake grease, and slammed the tailgate. This ain't camping. This is a dang parking lot with trees. Uncle Ray nodded, cracking a silver bullet tall boy for solace. Riley, ever the optimist, piped up. Come on, Mr. V, free showers? And hey, Ty, no more digging cat holes. We hunkered down anyway. No refund, no closer sights. Take it or bail. And Dad's pride wouldn't allow retreat. By dusk, the tent was up. Riley's Boy Scout wizardry turning poles into a palace while I supervised. The fire pit crackled with hot dogs skewered on green sticks, and the Midway's lights bled pink and yellow across the river like an oil spill. Dad grumbled through grace. Lord, forgive this concrete jungle, but mellowed with Ray's storytelling. Yarns about Nam that always veered into fishing tall tales. Riley fit seamless, tying knots that'd hold a battleship and fetching Dad's medicinal flask without a blink. Me? I nursed a root beer float from the camp store. The Midway's calliope music a siren's wail over the loon's lament. It grated. This was camping? More like glamping for tourists who feared actual dirt. As the fire died to embers and the grown-ups snored in their REI double bag, Riley and I zipped into our pup tent, the nylon whispering conspiracies. He'd smuggled a Zippo and a half-pint of Canadian Club, swiped from his old man's liquor cabinet, hidden in a Pringles can like a Prohibition bootlegger. To surviving the suburbs, he toasted, passing the flask. The burn hit smooth, loosening tongues. Gripes about algebra teachers, dreams of Mustang convertibles. That time I struck out at the Alpina Invitational with scouts watching. By 11, buzz mellow, energy electric, Riley's eyes gleamed mischief. Ty, you hear that? The Midway thrummed. Faint squeals from the last stragglers. The Ferris wheels groan like a giant's yawn. Bet we could own that place. Climb the zipper? Or the old coaster, see the bay from the top. My pulse quickened. Thrill chasing was Riley's jam. Mine was calculated risks, like sneaking Dad's truck for Dairy Queen runs. But the booze, the night, the sheer wrongness of a carnival in the woods, it hooked me. "You're nuts. Guards everywhere." He grinned, wolfish. "Pfft, chain link and shadows. Come on, Voss. One adventure before you chicken out on college apps." We waited till the fireflies synced with the stars. Dad snores a metronome of safety. Flashlights in teeth, hoodies zipped, we ghosted the site. Ducking RVs like tombstones, the river's lap a conspiratorial hush. The fence was a joke. Rusted chain link topped with sagging barbed wire. Easy hoist over with Riley's boost. Inside, the midway was a ghost town under sodium lamps. Booths shuttered, stuffed prizes sagging like defeated dreams, the air heavy with stale popcorn and machine oil. We crept low, hearts hammering a techno beat, every rustle a patrol. A golf cart hummed distant, security's lazy circuit, sending us diving behind a skee-ball cage, fiberglass cool against my cheek. Laughter bubbled nervous. "This is better than Grand Theft Auto," Riley whispered. We beelined for the coaster. The Huron Howler, a rickety wooden beast from the 50s, tracks looping lazy over the dunes. Up close, it loomed biblical. Black iron lattice veined with rust. Cars like skeletal chariots swaying in breeze. The maintenance ladder was our salvation. Rungs cold, clanging soft under Nikes. No rails halfway up, just abyss dropping to gravel, wind whipping shirts like flags of surrender. Riley led, fearless. I followed, palms slick, whispering prayers to the patron saint of idiots. Summit hit at 1:17 a.m. The world unspooled. River silver threaded under moon. Forest a velvet sea. Distant Oscoda's lights winking like fireflies on steroids. We snapped one pic. Riley's flip phone glow capturing our triumphant silhouettes against the bay. Then hunkered. Breaths sinking with the structure's creak. Euphoria pure. Kings of the Midway. Untouchable. Descent was quicker. Adrenaline's afterburn. Return path snake deficient. Shadows our allies. Patrols sparse at witching hour. 5 minutes from the fence we froze. Golf cart whine closing. Duck behind the snow cone stand, syrup ghosts sticky underfoot. That's when Riley tapped my arm, hard. "Ty, 2 o'clock. 20 yards off, between the funhouse mirrors and a derelict ring toss booth, a shape crouched. Humanoid but wrong, broad-shouldered, gait a hitch like a wounded buck. Not a guard, too furtive, melting edge to edge. We held breath, flashlights off, as it shifted. Then, light spill from the cart's headlamp caught it. A man, late 40s, shirtless under a flannel vest, torn ragged. Jeans caked mud. But the face, smeared crimson, dark rivulets streaking jaw and neck like war paint gone sloppy. Blood? Or ketchup from a Midway snack? His eyes, flat, animal, locked our direction, or seemed to, before he lurched across the open, vanishing into the funhouse's maw. Terror tasted copper. Riley's grip bruised. Mine sweated his sleeve. The cart passed oblivious, taillights fading. We bolted, fence scaled in record, drop jarring knees, sprint back silent save gasps. In the tent, zippers sealed like sarcophagi, we lay rigid, sleeping bags prisons. Drunk, Riley finally rasped. Or a carny tweaking. I nodded, but sleep fled. Visions of that smear, the hitch, replaying like a cursed loop. Dawn broke merciful, ordinary. Coffee perking on the Coleman, Dad frying spam over flames, Ray nursing a hangover with Black Joe. Riley and I shoveled eggs, eyes avoiding. The Midway's distant clamor a hangover hum. Around 9:30, as we broke camp, tent folded sloppy, cooler iced for the drive. A park host rolled up on a quad, megaphone blaring polite panic. Attention campers, sheriff's alert. Homicide reported last night at the Orsable Public Access, 3 miles west. Male suspect, mid-40s, Caucasian, disheveled, shirtless, possible injury, bloodied clothing. Armed and dangerous. Pack up, stay vigilant. Report sightings to dispatch. The world greyed. Riley's fork clattered. Mine froze mid-air. Disheveled, bloodied. Hitchin' step. 3 miles. A straight shot through dunes to the river mouth. Prime spot for a post-crime rinse. Dad cursed. Great. Now we're in a Hillerman novel. While Ray scanned the tree line like it held Apaches. Riley and I? Glances locked. A pact forged in silence. Tell? And explain the trespass, the booze, the climb? Dad's disappointment would eclipse any hero badge. Riley's folks grounded him till prom. Kids, the host added, stick together, he's desperate. We bailed by noon, Explorer groaning under gear, the Midway shrinking rear view like a bad dream. Home in Alpena by dusk, Mum's meatloaf waiting. Questions deflected with, great trip, just buggy. But the shadow clung. Local news that night. Stabbing over a dope deal gone south. Victim a Tawas local. Throat slashed near the boat launch. Suspect fled on foot, possibly toward campgrounds. Sketch artist's render. Cleft chin, wild eyes, flannel vest. Our ghost. Riley and I never spoke it aloud, not then, not at junior prom when we slow danced awkward to Lumineer's covers, not at Central Michigan U where we roomed freshman year, trading Pabst for philosophy majors. Guilt festered quiet. My statement could have netted him, spared whoever he hit next. Papers hinted at priors, bar fights, a 05 assault in Gaylord. Riley bears it heavier. Our annual Lake Huron fishing trips turn maudlin after the third Leinenkugels, his gaze drifting to the dunes like they're haunted. We were kids, Ty. Dumb luck. Luck? Or curse? That photo, grainy on Riley's old Facebook, still chills. Us atop the howler, grins cocky, the Midway a twinkling trap below. I deleted it years back, but dreams resurrected. The hitch approaching, crimson hand outstretched. Michigan summers endure. Bonfires, Uper pasties, the Perseids streaking eternal. But Tawas? Poisoned. Dad still camps, invites faded. I opt for glamping pods now, screens between me and the wild. Riley's a park ranger in the Porcupine Mountains. Irony's joke, chasing badgers anew. Me? Graphic designer in Traverse City, pixels safer than paths. Life arcs on, marriages, kids. Mine's a girl, all pigtails and questions. But that night whispers. Thrills have teeth. We danced too close to the edge, and something danced back. In Michigan's endless woods, where loons cry like warnings, I wonder, did he see us? And if he did, is the hitch still out there, waiting for the next boys with flashlights? Story 2. The Grin in the Reflection. Ever stare into a subway car's grimy window, expecting your own tired reflection, only to lock eyes with something straight out of a fever dream? A painted smile stretched too wide, eyes hollow as jack-o'-lanterns, promising games you never signed up to play? It was a rainy Wednesday in mid-October 2016, the kind of Philadelphia downpour that turns Broad Street into a river of regret. And I was 17, a junior at Central High, shuffling onto the Broad Street line at City Hall Station with my North Face backpack slung low and earbuds blasting Chance the Rapper's coloring book. The clown panic had been bubbling on my Twitter feed for weeks. Grainy videos from Florida, creepy sightings in Ohio, hashtags like "Clown Lives Matter" twisting into nightmares. I scrolled them during homeroom, half laughing, half scrolling past. Urban legend fodder, right? Just bored millennials in polyester suits chasing virality. But that evening, as the doors hissed shut and the train lurched south toward my stop at Tasker, the punchline turned predator. And it had my name on its red nose. I'm Devin Hayes, or D to the crew that ruled the bleachers at Central's football games. That scrappy squad of misfits who turned Friday lights into poetry slams between downs. Philly born and bred, South Philly through and through. Rowhouse stoops where nonnas still hung laundry like battle flags, cheesesteak grease as currency, and the mama's strut baked into your DNA before you could walk. Dad was a scepter mechanic, elbows deep in the L's underbelly at the Wayne Junction yard, coming home smelling like ozone and axle grease with stories of ghost cars that ran empty loops at midnight. Mum worked doubles at the Reading Terminal Market, slinging hoagies at DeNick's until her feet screamed mercy, always slipping me a slick bag of roast pork scraps with that wink. Fuel for the brain, baby boy. College ain't free. They raised me right. Church on Sundays at St. Gabriel's, report cards that earned Xbox time, and a curfew etched in stone. Home by 9, no detours through the sketchy stretches near the Navy Yard. High school was my kingdom and my cage. Central was no joke, magnet for the city's sharpest, with AP classes that felt like boot camp and a diversity that mirrored Philly's beautiful chaos. Korean kids trading kimchi recipes in the hall, Puerto Rican flags draped over lockers like capes. Me in the middle, biracial blur of black dad and Italian mum, dodging the "what are you" questions with a shrug and a killer jump shot. Basketball kept me straight, varsity bench warmer, but the court was therapy, pounding hardwood till the world's edges softened. That fall, scouts from the Sal whispered in coach's ear after a scrimmage win over Roman Catholic, so I poured everything into drills. Sprints at the Palestra, pickup games at the 23rd Street courts where old heads schooled you on Allen Iverson footwork. Life was scripted. School, practice, the L ride home to our 3-story on Wolf Street, where Mom's lasagna waited like a hug. October 12th hit like any hump day. Chem lab blow up, literally. Beaker's fault, not mine. A pop quiz in English Lit that salvaged my GPA, and a group text from the squad planning a Sixers watch party at Tunes in Passyunk. D, you in? Embiid's dropping 30, Jamal typed, with a fire emoji chain. I bailed. Homework backlog from the Great Gatsby annotations, plus Mom's no screens till the dishes shine rule. Last bell at 2:45, I hoofed it to City Hall, the station's underground hum a familiar growl. The Broad Street line was my vein. Orange cars rattling south like veins pumping the city's blood, past the Liberty Bell glow and into the grit of Gray's Ferry. Headphones in, Chance's blessings on loop, that gospel hook a shield against the commute's chaos. Phone out for flashcards. Organic chem nomenclature, because med school dreams don't chase themselves. The platform buzzed moderate. Commuters in Eagles green hoodies, a violinist scraping Vivaldi for quarters, that one dude always ranting about the deep state to anyone with earbuds half out. Train pulled in at 3:12, doors whooshing like a sigh. I boarded the second car, snagging a pole near the end. Prime real estate, away from the fidgety kids but close enough to the exit for Tasker. The car was half full. A nurse in scrubs scrolling WebMD. A college kid from Temple buried in Ta-Nehisi coats. 2 suits debating Sixers trades over lukewarm Wawa coffees. I wedged in, backpack thumping the seat, eyes on my phone. Chem cards blurred into rhythm. Aldehyde, ketone, ester. Hypnotic, shutting out the rattle-clack of tracks under the Schuylkill. Tasker was 3 stops, 15 minutes tops. I zoned, chance fading to white noise, the window's streaked glass a funhouse mirror of my fade haircut and tired eyes. Subway hypnosis, that sway and stare where time folds. But at Erie Torresdale, doors parted and the vibe shifted. A hush, then murmurs rippling like pebbles in a puddle. I glanced up, casual, then froze. Blocking the doorway, not boarding but looming, was a figure straight from a scary movie reject bin. Full clown regalia, polka dot pants baggy as a parachute, striped shirt in red and white candy cane chaos, oversized bow tie flopping like a deflated whoopee cushion. Shoes? Clodhoppers, yellow and floppy, size 20 at least. Face? Grease paint white as a sheet, exaggerated black smile arcing ear to ear, blue teardrops trailing cheeks like melted ice cream. No wig, just a bald cap gleaming under fluorescence, red nose bulbous and peeling at the edges. He stood dead center, arms loose at sides, head cocked like a curious crow. Laughter choked in my throat. Prank? One of those viral challenges like the cinnamon swallowers or the ice bucket idiots? The car tensed. Nurses hand to mouth, Temple kids snapping pics low-key, suits shifting stances like linebackers. Clown didn't move, just stood, that grin frozen. Eyes rimmed black, lashes clumped like tar, scanning slow. They landed on me. Locked. My reflection shattered in the window. Me, wide-eyed, him behind, smile splitting wider. Heart slammed, fight or flight short-circuiting to freeze. Doors beeped warning, 3 seconds to close. I edged forward, mumbling, "Excuse me," aiming to slip past. Contact, shoulder, brush, polka dot sleeve, synthetic itch against my hoodie. That's when it lunged, not a grab, a lean, fluid and deliberate, face dropping level with mine, breath hot and sour like cotton candy gone rancid. Up close, paint cracked at the corners, sweat beading white, a flicker of stubble under the jaw. Playtime, it rasped, voice muffled. Male? Growl through gritted teeth before the tackle. I twisted, backpack swinging wild, slamming the pole with a clang that echoed biblical. Dodged left, feet pumping vinyl floor, doors sealing behind with a pneumatic hiss. He, definite he now, bounced off the frame, cursing low, but pursued. That lurching stride, shoes flopping thunderous, arms windmilling for balance. Panic's pure octane. I bolted the length of the car, nurse shrieking, Temple kid yelling, "Yo, what the?" Suits surging to block. "Get off the train, call 911!" someone hollered, but I was tunnel vision. Doors ahead, next stop Snyder, 30 seconds by the ticker. He gained, floppy feet somehow propelling, one hand snagging my strap. Rip, backpack tore free, flashcards exploding like confetti regrets. I vaulted the gap as doors cracked at Snyder, tumbling onto the platform slick with rain tracks. He skidded short, wedged, that grin twisting fury. But in the scramble something flashed, silver glint from his sleeve. A blade? Kitchen knife, 6 inches serrated. Handle wrapped electrical tape. Where'd it hide? Pants cuff? He'd palmed it smooth, now slashing air inches from the closing doors. I hit the deck, concrete biting palms, scrambling up as the train groaned south. Platform emptied fast, commuters fleeing stairs, violinist packing frantic, that ranter pausing mid-tirade to gawk. "Clown! Knife!" I gasped to no one, lungs burning, knees jelly. Phone out, hands shaking, 911 dialing blind. Broad Street line, Snyder Station. Clown with a knife just chased me off the train. Dispatch calm. "Stay put, sir." Units inbound. Describe him. Words tumbled. Costume details. The rasp, the lurch. Limp? Twitch in the left leg, like an old injury. 6'2", 250? White guy under the makeup. They patched me to transit cops. I paced the yellow line, rain drumming overhead, vents like Morse code panic. Scepter PD rolled up in 7 minutes. 2 officers, Burkowski and Lee, badges gleaming under halogens. Burkowski, built like a center from St. Joe's, took my statement while Lee radioed the train's conductor. "Suspect last seen heading southbound, car 7. Full sweep at NRG." They combed the platform. My backpack recovered from the car, flashcards scattered but intact, and escorted me topside, where Dad waited in his work truck, summoned by Mum's frantic relay. "D, Jesus, kid." He crushed me in a hug, ozone scent grounding. Mum met us at home, lasagna cold, but her arms hot, phoning the school counselor for tomorrow's mental health day. News vans sniffed by dawn. Philly joins clown chaos. Scepter stabbing scare? My blurry yearbook pic splashed Channel 6. Anonymous teen turned reluctant poster boy. The chase replayed endless, that lean, the rasp, the knife's whisper past my ear. Cops hauled a suspect by noon. Costume shop clerk from Fishtown, high on bath salts, mumbling about the circus calling him back. No priors, but the limp matched. A 14 car wreck per his sheet. Makeup kit in his Civic, blade from his kitchen drawer. Thought it was a game, he slurred in cuffs. Grin faded to confusion. DA dropped charges, insanity plea pending. But the what-ifs clawed. What if the doors stuck? What if the suits hadn't blocked? Mum upped my curfew to dusk. Dad installed a ring cam on the stoop. No more El Solos, D. Squad rallied. Jamal's pickup games turned bodyguard duty. Tunes watch party swapped for my basement. Embiid posters papering the rec room. Weeks blurred, therapy tinged. Sessions at the Philly Family Center. Unpacking the freeze. The racial glitch of why me in a city quick to profile. Twitter blew up. Hashtag Philly Clown Chase trending. Memes of me as Batman dodging Joker. But the DMs chilled. You next? From anonymous handles. Clown emojis trailing like taunts. I deleted the app, stuck to Snapchat streaks with the crew. Basketball saved me. Coach ramped drills, scouts whispers to shouts after a 22-point explosion against Newman Goretti. College apps loomed. Temple on scholarship radar, dreaming med school at Penn, turning fear to fuel. Philly scars fade slow. Rainy Wednesdays still twitch my thumb to volume up. Subway windows demand double checks. That grin haunts mirrors, a reminder. Legends walk when we laugh them off. Dad jokes now, over Wawa hoagies. Clowns, I'll wire 'em to the third rail. Mum crosses herself at headlines. Me? I ride the L, eyes open, chance cranked, defiant. In the city of brotherly shove, trusts the real knife. Sharp, unseen, waiting for the lean. Story 3. Ripples in the neon glow. Ever take a job that pays like it's laundering more than just towels? $25 an hour to sit poolside under buzzing lights, watching water lap at shadows that shouldn't be there. It was a sweltering August night in 2022, the Miami humidity clinging like a bad ex, when I answered a Craigslist ad that should have screamed red flag from the jump. Private pool attendant needed. Evenings, no experience wrecked. Cash paid daily. I was 24, crashing on my cousin's couch in Little Havana after a string of gig economy gigs. Uber Eats runs dodging potholes. DoorDash drops in the rain that left my bank account wheezing like an asthmatic AC unit. The hook? Must be comfortable with night shifts and basic safety protocols. Bonus if you're discreet. Discreet. That word should have been my cue to scroll past. But rent was due, and the ad's attached pic showed a sparkling lagoon-style pool at the Oasis Palms Motel. That faded mid-century relic off Calle Ocho, where tourists once sipped daiquiris, but now it's mostly locals nursing regrets. I fired off a reply, and by dawn, I had an interview. What I didn't know, as I smoothed my one decent polo and hopped the 836 expressway, was that those ripples in the water weren't just chlorine echoes. They were waves from something deep, dark, and way over my pay grade. Name's Jordan Ellis, the kind of guy who'd rather troubleshoot a laptop than his life choices. Grew up in the sprawl of suburban Tampa, where dad coached Little League and mom flipped houses during the boom, turning shotgun shacks into flipper fantasies with fresh coat of paint optimism. College was a half measure. 2 years at USF grinding gen eds on a partial scholarship, dreaming of cybersecurity gigs cracking code for the FBI. But the pandemic nuked that. Internships vaporized, loans piling like Jenga blocks. By 2021, I was adrift, bouncing to Miami for a fresh start that meant crashing with my cousin Marco, a mechanic at a Pep Boys who owed me for covering his bar tabs back in high school. "Mijo, stay as long as you need," he'd say, slapping my back over café con leches at Versailles. "But get your ass a job. Versace ain't cheap." Marco's place was a shoebox in Alapata, peeling linoleum, a balcony overlooking chain-link fences, and roaches that scattered like paparazzi at dawn. I loved the energy, salsa blasting from lowriders, abuelas hawking empanadas from stoops. But the grind? Brutal. Rideshare apps paid in fumes, and freelance coding on Upwork ghosted faster than a bad Tinder match. The Oasis Palms gig landed like manna. I pulled up to the motel at 4 p.m., the sun baking the stucco facade till it glowed like overripe mango. The place screamed faded glory. Neon palm tree sign flickering vacancy in cursive script. A courtyard pool shaped like a lazy kidney bean, surrounded by palms that whispered in the trade winds. Check-in lobby? A time capsule. Formica counters scarred from decades of tourists' elbows. A vending machine hawking RC colas and faded postcards of South Beach before the high-rises. The ad's poster, a stocky Cuban guy named Rico, waved me in from behind the desk, his Aloha shirt straining over a gut earned from too many midnight cortaditos. "Jordan, right on time. Good sign." His handshake was firm, gold chain glinting under the fluorescent hum. Rico was all charm, quick laugh, stories about 80s Coke cowboys who'd rented the honeymoon suite for business meetings. "Pool's the heart of this place," he said, leading me through French doors to the water's edge. "Keeps the guests happy. You swim?" "Yeah, grew up on the Gulf," I lied smooth. Pool skills from community center laps, not ocean waves. Rico nodded, clipboard in hand. "Perfect. Shifts run 6 p.m. to 2 a.m., weeknights mostly. Collect entry from walk-ins, $10 a head. Enforce rules. No glass, no dives, kids with floaties only. And he paused, eyes scanning me like a barcode. You speak Spanish? The question hung, humid as the air. Miami's a bilingual blur. Half the signs code switch, half the conversations layer Spanglish like a Cuban sandwich. I'd picked up basics from Marco's family barbecues. Que pasa for hellos, gracias with a nod. But Rico's tone? Probing. A little, I admitted. High school elective. He chuckled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Good enough. But here's the thing. We prefer folks who don't get too chatty with the locals. Boundaries, you know? Keeps it professional. Red flag number 2, waving casual. Why hire a monolingual in a city where no hablo gets you lost faster than a tourist in Wynwood? Rico brushed it off. Rowdy types try to haggle or flirt. English only cuts the noise. Made half sense. Pool as neutral zone. Then the pay. $25 an hour, cash, nightly, plus tips. My math brain lit up. 8 hours was $200, tax-free. Enough for a deposit on a studio in Edgewater, maybe even a used Civic to ditch the bus. When do I start? Tonight, Rico grinned, tossing me a whistle on a lanyard and a faded lifeguard tee. Red polyester that smelled like chlorine and regret. Change in the office, then station at the chair. Call me for trouble. No paperwork, no I-9. Just a nod and a key to the pump house. That cinder block shed behind the palms where chemicals sloshed in blue jugs. I suited up quick. Board shorts over trunks, whistle dangling like a noose, and climbed the white plastic throne overlooking the pool. Twilight bled purple over the water, surface oil slick from sunscreen and spilled cokes. First guests trickled in, a family of 4 from the motel rooms, kids splashing cannonballs while Dad nursed a Corona. A duo of college girls from FIU, giggling over TikToks. I collected their fees smooth, $40 total. Crisp 20s folded into the lockbox at my feet. Routine settled. Whistle blasts for horseplay. Lazy laps to stay sharp. The motel's hum, a lullaby of slamming doors and distant reggaeton. Week 1 blurred idyllic. Nights cooled to balmy, stars pricking the sky like escape routes. Walk-ins swelled. Locals post-shift from the port, seeking relief from warehouse heat. Snowbirds from Canada. Towels monogrammed with loons. Cash flowed. $150, $200 nightly. Rico's envelope thick as a prayer book. Tips? Spotty, but the girls left 5s with winks. The dad's beers I nursed slow. No drama, just the water's endless murmur. But cracks spiderwebbed subtle. The pump house key? It unlocked more than filters. A side door to a windowless lounge, cool and dim, with lockers bolted to walls, and a faint whiff of something sharper than chlorine. Ozone? Cologne? I peeked once, Rico's voice booming from the desk. Eyes on the pool, Jordan! Slammed it shut, cheeks burning. Then the wristbands. Week 3, a Tuesday haze. This slick guy in Ray-Bans and a linen guayabera saunters up, mid-30s, gold Rolex winking under the tiki lights. No swim trunks, just slacks and loafers. A black duffel slung cross-body. Entry? I asked, hand out. He flashed a blue rubber band, snapped tight on his wrist. The motel logo stamped, faded. Special guest, he muttered. Accent thick as black beans. Colombian? Venezuelan? Eyes slid past me to the pump house, impatient. Rico's briefing echoed. Blue bands? comp access. Pump house lounge, sauna, showers, whatever. No charge, no questions. I nodded, unhooking the chain gate. He vanished inside, duffel thumping soft. Hour later, he emerges. Band still blue, but bag bulging heavier. A towel draped casual over the zip. Sauna sweat? Or something denser? I logged it in mental. First blue, 8:42 p.m. Blues multiplied like roaches. By month's end, they clustered. Groups of 3, 4, murmuring low as they flashed and filed in. Accents layered. Puerto Rican lilt, Dominican clip, a Haitian patois that flowed like rum. No swims, just the lounge, 45 minutes average, emerging with full bags and empty small talk. Busy night, I'd venture. They'd nod, eyes averted, peeling off toward the parking lot where low-slung chargers idled, bass thumping muffled. Cash from walk-ins spiked too, overpays routine, a 10-spot for 5 entry, 20s for singles. Keep the change, they'd insist, palms up like offerings. By Friday, my lockbox overflowed. $300 surplus, Rico scooped with a wink. Generous crowd, good for you. But the math nagged. $25 an hour plus tips equaled windfalls no pool jockey earned legit. I pocketed the doubt. Marco's couch calling softer with each envelope. Suspicion crystallized Labor Day weekend. Shift started slow, pool empty save a lone paddleboarder, but blues swarmed post-sunset. 8 in a convoy, Escalades double-parked, drivers in mirrored aviators scanning the lot like hawks. They funneled in, bands collective flash, duffels uniform black. Spanish flowed free now, snippets catching on the breeze. Los envíos están limpios. No federales esta noche. Shipments clean? No feds? My high school Spanish pieced it. Drugs? Smuggling? The lounge door clicked shut, muffled laughter seeping. I paced the chair, whistle twisting fingers. Call Rico? Nah, he'd laugh it off. Instead, I feigned a chem check, keying the pump house quiet. Inside, lounge alive. Not sauna steam, but haze from Cuban sticks. A card table ringed by players. Poker? Blackjack? Chips clacking like teeth. Crate stacked corner. Not towels, but sealed bricks. Plastic wrapped. Taped discreet. One band guy glanced up. Guayabera from week 3. Eyes narrowing. Hey, Chico, back to the pool. I bolted, heart jackhammering, chlorine suddenly acrid. The pieces slotted brutal. Oasis's front. Motel for transients, pool for cover. Blues the signal for drops. Lounge the exchange. Cash overpays. Laundry. Clean bills swapped for marked. English only hire. Shield me. The clueless gringo, plausible deniability if badges rolled. Rico's discreet, now poison. I'd seen too much. Shifts blurred paranoid. Every Guayabera a threat, every duffel a bomb. Tips dried. Walk-ins sensed the chill. Blues stared longer. Marco noticed. You look like mierda, primo. Job sucking your soul. I deflected with half-truths. Long hours, bad dreams. But sleep fractured. Nightmares of feds kicking doors, or worse. Rico's crew deciding loose ends float. Climax crashed mid-September. A Thursday monsoon drumming the tiki roof. Pool deserted, rain sheeting palms, when my phone buzzed. Unknown, 305 area. Jordan? Rico. Family emergency. Mum's in the hospital. Cover solo tonight? Extra C note. Lie stank, his voice too steady, but Cash talked. Yeah, got it. Storm chased guests home. I hunkered, lockbox heavy, when the lounge door creaked. Not Blues, but Rico himself, soaked shirt clinging, flanked by two heavies. One scar-lipped with a fade, the other wiry, tats snaking forearms like barbed wire. "Evening, kid," Rico said, smile not reaching. "Heard you took a peek." Ice in veins. "Just checking pH. Filters clogged." Scarlip snorted, blocking the exit. Rico circled, slow, rain-dripping pools. "See, that's the thing. We like our attendants blind. English keeps it simple. No misunderstandings." He paused, close enough breath to smell. Cigar and cologne. "But you, been listening. Entendiendo more than you let on." Panic clawed. Marco's warnings about the business in Little Havana. Cousins vanished to opportunities up north. They'd tailed me? Bug the chair? My phone? Burner? No, just an iPhone with family pics and chem notes. Wiry stepped forward, hand dipping pocket. Flashlight? No. Glint of steel. A switchblade flicking casual. "Boss says chatty boys swim with the gators." Rico raised a palm, calm down, but eyes cold appraisal. "Nah, kid's smart." Opportunity, right? He pulled an envelope, thicker than usual, hundreds fanned. Double pay. Promote to lounge duty. Eyes open, mouth shut. Or, blade twirled, point catching light. Heart thundered. Fight? Run? The pool's glow mocked, water still as a grave. Yeah. Opportunity. Lie tasted bile, but survival scripted. Rico nodded, blade vanishing. "Good choice. Start tomorrow, 7 p.m. sharp." They filed out, Escalade taillights slicing rain, leaving me soaked in sweat. I bolted at shift's end, lockbox untouched, whistle ditched in the bushes, tires screaming on the 836. Marco's couch that night. "I'm out, man. That place? Bad juju." He pressed a beer, eyes knowing. Knew it. Rico's crew, coke runners, been whispers since the 90s. Get gone. By dawn, I was packed. Duffel with clothes, laptop, mum's old rosary for luck. Bus to Tampa. $45 Greyhound. 8 hours of paranoia. Every stop a Fed stakeout. Back home, Dad's garage became bunker. Odd jobs wiring smart homes. Mum's casseroles a balm. Applied to cybersecurity certs online, CompTIA, then ethical hacking courses that turned nightmares to paychecks. 6 figures now at a firm in Clearwater. Cracking fishing rings, ironic justice. Oasis? Burned in my mind. That lounge haze. Blades glint. Rico's envelope temptation. Miami faded. Marco texts monthly. All good, primo. But sleep twitches at rain on tin roofs. I drive a Civic now. Locks auto. No Craigslist blind dates. Life's ripples settle. But those neon glows, they echo. Discretion's the real killer. In Florida's endless summer, some pools drown you slow, and the deep end's always watching.